All right, welcome. Hello, Jeff. Bitcoin to a billion. I'll take 25,000 for starters. Then 29,000. And then we'll see where we go from there. This was a good day. Welcome, everybody. All right, right away, I'm going to ask everybody to smash the like button so that we get some coverage out here. Get some people on the stream. Much appreciated. Reese, hello. How's it going? Sourmelon Gaming, hello. G90, Omar. Woohoo, that's right. Gorilla, beautiful day. Hola. Qwerty, hello. All right, we got 8 likes. We got 8 likes. One more time. Because it brings people to the stream. And then we have a bigger. Hello, Nathan. All right, awesome. Yeah, hopefully everybody had a good day. Omar saying, $ any Sphere 3D, let's go. Any was up big. We'll go through the board. Most things were up big. I'm going to cover the ones I don't really count. And then we'll go through the rest. I mean, some massive moves today. I did an Iris Energy. I'm so mad. I had to do it 3 times. The first time I did the whole thing, and when I was done, the volume didn't work and there was no noise. So that was before the market opened. So that was going to be out first thing this morning. By the time I got it done, Iris was up 38%. And then now, I mean, I thought that was crazy, but Iris Energy closed up almost 67% on the day today. We'll take a look at Iris Energy later. And like I said, I did a deep dive video on it today. I just released it maybe within the last hour due to technical difficulties that was meant to go out much earlier. But there is a reason that Iris is running, and I don't think it's done running. So we'll see. I mean, obviously you could always have a cool off and a pullback in the middle, and up 67% in one day is just crazy time. But there were a lot of big movers today. Hello, Steve. Hello, Martin. Hello, Alex. Martin saying Iris up 69%. Alex said, wow, nice day. Miner group, absolutely. So, yeah, for those of you who've been following along and for those of you trading in the miners, today was a good day. These are the days that we wait for, and it just kept getting better the whole day. So where was the market open in the U.S.? Was somewhere around here. So we were hanging out at about 22.7. So we had taken a nice run up from, this is where Bitcoin was when the U.S. equity markets closed yesterday, somewhere around 22.2. So we had already taken a nice run up before the market ever opened. That was, you know, that was the better part of 2.5%. And then it seemed like it was going to be one of those sideways days. I mean, this was hours. But then, if I go from yesterday until this was the close. So we did get a little higher at one point. But this is 8.4% from when the U.S. equity markets closed yesterday until when the U.S. equity markets closed today. Bitcoin was up 8.4%. So that's how I try to count it, because as I look at the equity stocks, you know, that's when they open and close. So if I'm going to compare apples to apples, that's usually the numbers that I look at. So that's, that's one of the biggest days we've had in a long time. So it looks like the rally is back on. It took a break, but we are back. This is, I mean, this rivals one of the better days we had. I'm not even going to count this day because if you go back, right, we had 2 bad days where there was whispers about FTX and then the situation exploded and we had 2 horrific days. So, you know, the day after that we had a up day making up a little bit of that ground. So I don't even really count this one, you know, because we were net super negative in this period of time. So you don't see a lot of green candles this big. So if we measure this 1-day candle from the bottom to the top, you know, that's over 10%. From the bottom to the top, we're not quite at the top. We've pulled back a little bit off of that. But the other thing to notice is the top that we reached today, even though it was only a little bit, actually it's more obvious. It's more obvious on this time frame, I believe. So if we go to where we were today, this was just, you know, within the last hour. That did get past this peak. This was the peak of the entire 55% rally that we had. So technically we did take that. I mean, it was very close. So you might say we revisited this, but we did get a little higher. And, you know, we're hanging on and going. Let's see where we go, right? We don't know if this run is over yet. There's more, maybe more to go from here. So I mean, we are super close to my price target now. I've been calling for 25,000 for a while. And I'm going to go to the 4-hour because it really shows. I mean, it was not looking good, right? This was February 1st. So that's over 2 weeks ago. You know, we had this big run up and then we trickled up. This seemed to be the end of it. And I think if we measure, this was about a 55% up, somewhere in that neighborhood. And, you know, then that was 15 days ago. So we went down, but I did start to talk right here. I said I'm hopeful this line of support will hold. I had a line of support at around 21,500, just under. And on the 4-hour candle, that did hold. We retested it again, and then a few hours later, again. This was on Monday. We twice retested this. On the 4-hour time frame, it held. And then, you know, even then, I was feeling like, well, this really could go either way. I mean, we're on the brink here. But this held, and then, you know, all the other technicals were also starting. By the time these happened, a lot of the other technicals were starting to look to me like, yeah, maybe we're going up, but I've been fooled too many times. You guys all know I'm not alone. Bitcoin is here to fool us. I just messed up my window here. What am I doing? Give me 1 second. Technical difficulties. Oh, that didn't solve it. All right. There we go. Sorry, that's me. That's on me. All right, let me catch up a little bit here. All right. Nice day. Miners are off the hook. The miners are off the hook. Bitcoin is off the hook. I mean, the market, just for a moment, let's just go to the market itself. I mean, it did pick up steam this day, especially for the S&P and the Dow. This was in the red most of the day. We ended up green across the board. The NASDAQ did start out in the red. That recovered much earlier, but it ended up almost 1%. The Russell was up over a little 1%. So this was a nice little day for the market. I do think this is the start of I think getting through that CPI data was crucial. I think that it came in. It was not really what everybody wanted to see, but it was close enough that, you know, we have now moved past that. And I think we got a little room for the market to run. But I think on the other hand, Bitcoin's got a lot of room to run. So obviously it's the best of both worlds. If the market's going up and Bitcoin is going up, then the Bitcoin miners really get a double action out of that. Alex said the shorts are licking their chops. You think we're getting ready for a pullback, Alex, or you think we're going to keep going? Steve said I sold my CleanSpark at 356. So it depends where you bought it, because CleanSpark was, a lot. That's where we closed. That's way up off of its lows, so you might have turned a nice profit there. I don't know. Hello, Kevin. Kevin said Cypher. Yeah, Cypher continues. Let's just look at Cypher. Not on the 15 minute. So Cypher did go on February 2nd. Cypher went crazy, and then it pulled back to something within reason during the day. But still, this run up, if I just go from, this is the end of December. So this is where all the Bitcoin miners bottomed. And I will tell you, on all of my watch lists, every small cap, high growth stock that I have bottomed somewhere in this 3-day period between December 27th and December 30th. So Cypher is no different. So from there, this is a 376% run for Cypher in the last month and a half. So I just like to point these out when they happen, because so many times people disregard and dismiss the fact that, oh, your stuff is clickbait, things don't. The fact is, that happens all the time with the Bitcoin miners. So we've had many of those. It's only February 15th, and we've had probably 5 or 6 or 7 miners, somewhere between 3x and actually 113x at one point. It has pulled back since then, but if you traded that right, if you're a swing trader, or if you're a day trader, these swings are wild. This is the Bitcoin miners, in my opinion, are a leveraged play on Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is an extremely volatile asset. So you have a leveraged play on a volatile asset. So when not every single day does it work out right, but over time, this is not a long period of time. I'm looking at 6 weeks here, and I'm looking at 376% to the upside. If you were holding Cypher this whole time, even if you averaged your way down, if you go backwards, yeah, Cypher was a lot higher. So there's a lot of people who might have a high cost basis, but this was an awfully long time to bring your cost basis down if you were dollar cost averaging. And, to get a 370 something bump off the bottom is nice. And we don't know that it's done. Let's see where this thing goes tomorrow, because we may not be done. Kevin's asking, where will Cypher top? In my mind, the first line I go to on every one of my charts, I have a line right here. This one's on August 16th. Most of them are on August 15th. That's the last time Bitcoin was at $25,000. So to me, we're almost, we're over 24,000, and that just happened. We jumped today huge, but with the move we just made today, the Bitcoin miners had a nice day yesterday. They had a nice day today, but the truth is, even with some of these gigantic moves, I still think most of these Bitcoin miners are lagging behind, and they still have a lot of room left to run just to get back to where so Cypher, from where it is right now, let's say tomorrow we have a nice run and get to 25,000 in Bitcoin. Cypher should still have another about 45% to run up just to be where they were back in August of 2022 when Bitcoin was at 25,000. But the other thing I'll say is, in Cypher's case in particular, but as is the case with a lot of these companies, Cypher is multiples bigger. They weren't even mining anything in August, and now they're mining like animals. So, even just to get back to where they were at that point, to me, that's not even representative of Cypher's value. So, obviously, that's my opinion. But I think there's lots of room left. I think there's a lot of room left for these stocks to run if Bitcoin can keep running. So, am I getting fooled? I don't know. I'm going to be enthusiastic on an up day like this. This was this is one of those days that you enjoy, and you know what? If they take it away from us, then we'll deal with that later. But for now, I'm putting this in the win column. I did sell some options today. Let's go through some of these moves. I mean, Jeff, I've been sitting in the waiting room for 15 minutes. Is there a way to sit in the waiting room and not come into the chat? Hello, Jeff. Welcome. Marathon, 18%. I mean, Marathon and Riot are the two biggest market caps, and they had 18% move and a 12.88% move. I mean, these are big moves, even on the biggest. Bitfarms, yes, finally, at last. Bitfarms was up 14% today. It was up 10% yesterday. See, the thing was, yesterday was a very green day for the vast majority of the Bitcoin miners. So, you know, this is back-to-back days. But I'm saying, even with back-to-back days, for Bitfarms, even up 10% yesterday and up 14% today, at $1.11, in my opinion, that is a ridiculous price for Bitfarms. It is underpriced. There are many of these that, in my opinion, are still way underpriced. It's not every single one, right? I think I have 18 or 19 of these on my screen on the board. So they're not all going to win, but a lot more of these might win than people thought. And the ones that are going to quote-unquote lose or not win, a lot of those have already been through the restructuring and taken the pain that they've had to take. So, you know, a lot of these companies, I'm just going to go through the list. I know Wolf had to do a major restructure. So they had to restructure their debt. They had to raise $32 million. Argo, they had to sell their whole facility. Right? So their business is radically different than it was a few months ago. Stronghold had to give back most of their machines. Mawson, same thing. DigiHost, I don't think they had anything going on there. Core Scientific filed for Chapter 11. I mean, there's a lot of these Bitcoin miners that have radically changed their business model and become a lot smaller. And I think that they may succeed. They're just never going to be what they, you know, what we once thought they were going to be, or what they once thought they were going to be, I should say more accurately. Jeff said, I think I'm just dumb. Why do you say that, Jeff? What is your restaurant? And Jeff says, like and subscribe. Yeah, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe or consider subscribing to the channel if you would. And if you haven't smashed the like button, I appreciate it. It helps. You can unsmash it later after the stream is over if that's what you want, but it does help us while we're on the stream, so I appreciate it very much. Kevin said, I've been dollar cost averaging in all the way down on most of the miners, finally getting to where it will be positive and just a few more good days. So yeah, that is the power of dollar cost averaging. As long as you pick stocks that you have enough conviction in that you stick with them. You know, too many people, you guys know, too many people sell at maximum pain, right? And it's hard not to. I mean, there were times with Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners over the last, you know, particularly, well, November, the FTX situation, November 8th and 9th was a train wreck. And, you know, that seemed to be the second time we bottomed out. We flash crashed in June and got down to 17,000 and change. And, you know, the FTX took us even below that, down to 15.5-ish. So this has been, and I will tell you, if you guys remember, and I'm sure most of you remember, when we were at 15.5, when FTX happened and we dropped, that was a big drop. I'm going to show that drop. That was a big drop. That was this right here. These 4 days. I mean, we were up, we were hanging out around, where is this at here? You know, 21,300. Also, we were in the middle of a nice rally, but that got shut down and turned around, and, you know, this was like a 25% pullback in Bitcoin while we were still very close to our lows. I mean, this took out, this right here was the low. This was the middle of June of 2022. This was the flash crash. You can see, I mean, we dropped like an anchor here all the way down to this. And then we jumped back up to a little bit more of a reasonable spot. My point is, this was an ugly time. This was an even uglier time. There are many, many, many people that were bailing out at this time. I know there were a lot of people in the comments section at this time talking about anybody that owns a Bitcoin miner is, you know, not so smart. But for those who dollar cost averaged in, you know, so far it's working out. And it's never over, obviously. But at the moment, today I'm going to say if you held on a dollar cost averaged in, today you were certainly right. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Let's see. Oh, Jeff, because you sat in the waiting room. Hey, listen, I would do the same. I don't know how any of this stuff works. It's a wonder I ever do a live stream. Let's see. Sourmelon Gaming, excited to ride the thing to 100K with all of you. We have patiently waited. Yes, we have patiently waited. And this has been a longer than average bear market for Bitcoin. It's not, you know, it's not unbelievable to think that we're in the healing phase here. And I'm not talking about, you know, the immediate bull run to the moon, but I feel very strongly. I thought that June low was the bottom. The FTX debacle was such a high-profile fiasco that I think we artificially traded even lower than that for a couple of months. But you can see, once this found its footing, and it was hanging out at this line somewhere just under 17,000, 16,008, 16,009. It spent this is a couple of months. We're on the 1-day time frame here, so it's been a couple of months going sideways. But when the dust settled, I mean, we have clearly moved to, and I'm going to measure from, this is from November 22nd. So this is over 2 months. This is coming up on 3 months ago. But from that low to where we are right now, that's 56.5% to the upside. And then the question is, you know, did we just press the reset button here? Because you can see, you know, we just spent a week and a half pulling back and allowing all of the indicators to kind of reset themselves because things were overheated. We talked about it starting on this day. For like 10 days, particularly the RSI on the 1-day time frame was in territory it's only ever seen a couple of times in the history of Bitcoin. So we knew things were a little overheated and there was going to be a cool off at some point, but maybe this was it. Right? Or maybe we're just getting faked out big time, but this is a heck of a fake out. If this is a fake out, then they got me because I think we're going higher. We're almost, I mean, to get to 25 from here, we're just a little over 4% away from what was my second price target for this rally, 22,400-ish. This purple line was my first price target. This one's my second one. So I am very, very hopeful that we are going to reach this price target. And then I know a lot of you, Jeff in particular, does not feel like 25 is where this thing stops. So, and there may be a lot of you that feel that way. We took a poll in the members only group yesterday. We took a poll and 75% of the people felt like, and this was before any of this run started. So we were just kind of hanging around yesterday at that time. And 75% of the people thought we were going to hit 25,000 in the next month. So, you know, we're not there yet. So I don't want to count my chickens yet, but it's starting to look good. Jeff, you guys can hang out in the lobby, in the waiting room together. Let's break through 25.2 on the stream. Wouldn't that be nice if we could have a massive run up right now? It looks like it's due. It's due right now. Andre, sorry, brings up the point. Everyone's expecting 25K, so it's not going to go there. So a lot of times that is true. Like once everybody locks in on something, it's almost like that almost ensures it's not going to happen. But that is why I don't think I ever finished my point 10 minutes ago. I sidetracked myself. When we were at those very low lows, when we were at 15,500, nobody was talking about 25,000. The conversation was, is Bitcoin going to 12,000, 10,000, 8,000? Some people were talking about 3,000. That was absolutely dominating the conversation for the better part of a month and a half as we went sideways somewhere in that 16,800 range. 10,000 was the number one number that I was hearing all over the place, on whether it be on, CNBC or whether it be on YouTube or Twitter or what, every place. Everybody was talking 10,000. Now, suddenly, I think really just starting now, people are talking 25,000. And there's a big, so let's go to the gap. Because above this price target, and that's kind of why I feel like this is back to, that was our high in August of 2022. So after we crashed in June of 2022, the highest we've ever been since then was just back up to 25,200. And this was a very nice relief rally, but this was clearly just a relief rally. That was, 43%, but this, we headed back down, had a little relief rally, and then it headed down again. So my point is, if I go like this, like if you go like this, like there's nothing. This is a gap. Like this is the very definition of a gap. We candle wicked into this a few times. On the way down, we just traded right straight through it in 1, 2, 3 days. And then as far back as you want to go, I got to go all the way back to December of 2020, the last time we traded in that range. So from 25,000 to just under 29,000, that is a range Bitcoin has never, ever traded in. Only just a very few days. So sometimes, and not always, but sometimes, that becomes a gap that gets filled. So there will be pressure. If we can pump above this line, there's going to be pressure to run up to this line. So, we haven't even got to this line yet. That's why I feel it's premature to start talking about, 28,700. But that possibility does exist. So I think that conversation is going to switch. That's what I think people are going to start talking about. Oh, we're going to 30,000. And once we hear too many people talking about that, then I'll go back to what Adrian said, or Andre, I believe, that, that might be the time where, now once we have consensus to the upside, we may run out of steam. Andre said, still holding Riot. Thanks to your videos. Hopefully we'll get some profit soon. Yeah, I think Riot's doing great. That's one of my larger positions. It was up 12.88% today. It is the largest market cap out of all of these companies. So, to be the largest market cap and still have a 12 or 13% move to the upside is impressive. But it's not even back to where it was a few weeks ago. So I think there's room. I'll go to that one. I think there's room to run still here. Yeah, just on February 2nd, so 2 weeks ago, Riot was at $7.78. So it's at $6.66 as we speak right now, apparently. Maybe it's a little different after hours. But just to get back to where we were 2 weeks ago, and Bitcoin's already back to where it was 2 weeks ago, so that's 16% to the upside. But I'm going to go right back to my same number. This is So August 11th. So it's usually August 15th for most of these. We happen to be catching a couple that were a few days before or a few days after, but this was the run up in August of 2022. This is the last time Bitcoin was at 25,000. So Riot has to go up another 58% just to get where it was back in August of 2022. Riot's got more than double the exahash. They're mining more than double what they were mining at that time. So to me, like, getting back to that, that's still underperformance. This is the period of time where there's still enough people that don't believe that we've turned the corner and, you know, that this is a relief rally, and when it ends, we're going to get, you know, hit hard in the other direction. And you know, who knows? That could be true. I don't think that's true. I think this was a lot more pain and suffering than people remember. And I don't know why everybody has so quickly forgotten. Like from January of let's say actually from the end of March, we had a really nice rally almost a year ago. Bitcoin rallied back up to 48,000, which was nowhere near the 69,000 that it was at back in November of 2021. But since the end of March, we are now very close to a year of pain. Just absolute pain. We've done things Bitcoin's never done before. We went below the previous cycle's high. So we've never done that before, which was, 19,000. So there was or just under 20,000. Bitcoin got up to 20,000. So every other cycle since then, once we broke past that number, we've never gone down below it again. This is the first time in Bitcoin's history it did that. And not only did it go below it, it went way below it, and it stayed below it for the better part of a year. So we got absolutely crushed. So I feel like, also that leaves people scarred and wounded, and there's some trepidation to jump back in. But, if we get momentum, there's massive, massive upside for the Bitcoin miners that can put out healthy operational reports on a monthly basis. So that's one of the best parts about trading these Bitcoin miners. We get an update from almost all of them every single month. So, obviously it's not 100% all encompassing. We don't get financial, we don't get financial statements and cost and other things, but, we get their production, their efficiency. We get a lot of information on a monthly basis to give us a general idea of how they're performing. And then quarterly, we get to review the financial statements. It would be nice if we could see their financial info more frequently than that, but I mean, that's just the way it works. Let's see. Jeff said there are still a lot of folks who FOMO'd into the miners and couldn't DCA, and they're still down 50 to 70%. I mean, there's no doubt. There's a lot of people that are still way down, even if they did some dollar cost averaging, and then held on, but ran out of powder or whatever the case may be. And there's a lot of people that sold at or near the bottom, and I'm afraid, unfortunately, a lot of those people are going to start chasing. I will tell you, I could kick myself because yesterday I said, you know what, I'm not going to chase Iris Energy. It already had such a nice run. It's way up, and I went through the same analysis you'll see that I did in my video. I said, I think there's a lot more room to the upside, but after the 2 days it just had, I'm not chasing after it. And what does it do the next day? It's up 67% in 1 day. So, that's one of those things where you just got to feel like, as a general rule, I don't like to chase something that's run unless I see it break through a long-term line of resistance and there's a reason to believe now we've just hit a new level. We've hit a new level of support, and we're going to go up from there. But that wasn't really the case with Iris. It was just running. And then today, it went wild. So, maybe you can't win them all. I don't want to be invested in every single Bitcoin miner. The ones that I am in all had a good day today. I'm not going to complain about any of these days. Let's just take a look at some. So my two newest positions, the only positions I've added in 2023, were Stronghold and TeraWolf, and that was because they both had news that they massively restructured their debt. So this was the second time for Stronghold. They had already given most of their machines back to restructure half of their debt. Well, they restructured the rest of their debt. TeraWolf restructured all their debt, and they raised $32 million. A lot of people sold on that news because of the dilution, but I actually bought in on that. That's had a nice run up. And then Stronghold, you know, ordinarily we'd be talking about Stronghold. It was up 30% today. Right? That's a grand slam home run winner. And, you know, it can't hold a candle to the fact that Iris was up 67%. So I'm going to look at Stronghold. We got a lot of likes. Thank you. You guys have done awesome. I'm just going to ask anybody that hasn't smashed the like button, if you could smash it. Helps the stream out a lot, and I appreciate it. And remember, you can always unlike it afterwards if you don't like it having in your history or whatever the case may be. All right. So with that said, also thank you for, there's a lot of members on the live stream today. So thank you to all the members. I appreciate you guys a lot. We had a good members only live stream yesterday. For those of you interested, let me get the thing. You can become a member. It's $5. We've got a Discord up and running for members only. We do a once a week live stream for members only, and we've got a lot of content for members only. The members get to pick a video each week for me to make, and so I do a deep dive, and I put my time in. I mean, I don't mess around with that. I do a very deep dive. I will tell you, there was one, I just finally got an XRP video out. Typically, they give me a video, and I try and get it out that week. The XRP video took me 6 or 7 weeks, and I'm probably going to make 5 more of those because that is one of the most complicated situations I've ever seen. But my point is, I spend the time. I'm not phoning it in on those deep dives. So you can ask the members. I think they'll tell you that it's worth it. Let's see. Give me a second. All right. What's the problem? Someone's asking me any word back from Sue Ennis. That is John. Welcome, John. Welcome to the stream, if I haven't said hello yet. Stephen English, welcome. All right, I'm posting that. There's a link in the chat if anybody is interested in joining and becoming a member. We have some great members. If you're out there, to the person that I ran into at lunch today, hello, if you're on the live stream, let me know. That very, very rarely happens. I'm a pretty small channel, but I did happen to run into somebody, and they came up to me, and I was totally baffled, and they said hello, and, you know, thanked me for the show, and they're a Hot 8. I think they were a Hot 8 holder, they said. So hello if you're here, and thanks. So the question is, any word back from Sue? We've been emailing back and forth, and they keep saying, "Oh, I think we're ready. I think we're ready. I think we're ready." And I have not gotten I'm gonna check right this second and see if I got a text with an update on this. All right, she's saying, sorry, I know this is taking a long... I did just get something from her. She says, sorry, I know this is taking a long time. Just give me a bit. So I'm hopeful that tomorrow morning I will be able to post that. So I've never had to go through this process before. With all the other interviews that we've done, even all the ones with Sue, you know, they're in the middle of a SEC filing right now. So the rules are very different for them. So I thought I would just be able to do what I've always done, which is just give the interview and then post the interview, and that's that. But there's a lot of extra steps to jump through. It's taking a lot longer, I think, than Sue expected it to, and she has been very nice trying to push it through, and she stayed in touch with me, letting me know I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So I'm hoping tomorrow morning, because it's a good interview, and yeah, I want it to get posted so you guys can see. I feel like she clarified some things very well in that interview. So obviously she can't answer every question, but we got a lot of nice clarifications, and I thought that was good. So hopefully, if all goes well, that is tomorrow morning. Hopefully I gotta believe it's by the end of the day tomorrow. It's just sitting there and getting old now, so it's time. Let's see. At TY, Jeff saying at TY. I don't know. This is in response, I think, to another comment. All the dilution combined was less dollars than what they used to acquire. Call that winning economics. Let me know who you're talking about. I'm not sure. QWERTY, thank you. He's saying the membership's worth more than $5. The membership has been my best investment. Thank you, QWERTY. I appreciate that shout out. Stephen English also said membership is well worth the price, content, and don't get anywhere else. Think of it this way. If you buy Starbucks, it's a Starbucks. Or at least at Starbucks, I get it. I try not to do this anymore. But triple venti mocha was my thing. And that has, I think, 4 shots of espresso and just, the amount of sugar. It was like 1,200 calories, and I was doing that every day. I stopped that a while back. Now, every once in a great while, I will go treat myself with one of those, but I switched, and I switched big time, because then I switched from that, which was probably the least healthy thing of all time. I just went to straight black coffee. So now I'm like, you know what? I don't even really like the taste of coffee anyway. So I'm just going to drink it black, because I read a big, long article about how drinking coffee is good for your heart. But not if you put milk in it and sugar in it and chocolate in it and et cetera, which is what I was doing. So what I was eating was not good for my heart at all. So I switched to black coffee, and I've been pretty dedicated to that for anybody who could possibly care less. You get used to it. If you haven't tried it, you do get used to it super fast, in my opinion. Future Forward, welcome to the stream. Future Forward said, I keep getting the feeling that even those who are bullish, including myself, are underestimating what the next 2 years has in store for the crypto space. Yeah, and this is what happens. You get beaten down. And the whole market works this way, but cryptocurrency is a massive exaggeration, because it's even so much more volatile than everything else. If you guys can remember back to September, October, November of 2021, I mean, that wasn't that long ago. Remember Plan B? Anybody remember Plan B? Right? He got a couple of months in a row where he was close enough that we called it right on the money. And, according to Plan B, we were going to be at like $140,000 in December of 2021. People weren't laughing at that. That's what people thought. And, I didn't necessarily think we were going to get to 140,000, but I will tell you, I thought by the end of the year, we would take out that $69,000 high by the end of 2021. That did not happen. We've never even been close to it since then. But my point is, back at that time, as things were rolling, the momentum was up, and people just kept talking about higher and higher and higher numbers. Well, we're suffering from the opposite phenomenon right now. We have been beaten down for a long period of time. That was 15, 16, 17 months ago, and most of those months in between were ugly. So, as Bitcoin kept going down, got under 30,000. Oh, it'll never go under 20. It's never done that before. That was the high from the previous cycle. Boom, it goes under 20. We flash crash down to 17,000, then start to recover. And then next thing you know, we're at 15,500. All the while, you've got the last 3 to 6 months of a lot of people debating, where's the bottom? Where's the bottom? And I've seen a lot of people with their charts. Oh, see, Bitcoin can't get healthy until it hits 3,000. I've seen that. I've seen 5 different people go through that on a chart. I will just tell you, I strenuously disagree with that. I think we're all suffering the phenomenon that now that Bitcoin is so low, we can't even imagine it at the prices that it was already at. So either this is the end of the whole cycle and Bitcoin doesn't do its thing ever again, or we're going to get to some pretty spectacular numbers. And there's a lot of very high-profile people that have invested a lot of money that believe that that is going to happen. That doesn't mean they're right, but I do believe we will be getting to much bigger numbers. I'm not predicting gigantic things by the end of 2023, but I have said since this year started, I am very bullish on Bitcoin in 2023. I think we're going to finish much higher than we started. My price target for the end of the year was somewhere between $40,000 and $48,000. So I am sticking to that. So I will let you know. I've been wrong every year. So take that for whatever it's worth. But that is my price target for 2023. I think we get back into that range. And then we move into the halving, and then I think things get nuts. So that's my personal Bitcoin thesis. We'll see how it all plays out. Let's see. Jeff said, if you join the membership, you get these 2 amazing emojis. I'm not sure how much incentive that is, but yes, that's a bonus. Trying to catch up on the... Alex said, for the effort you put in to analyze the Bitcoin miners, $10 a month is a bargain. It would be great. Help Tom recover a little of his increasing expenses to produce these videos. So, yeah, I don't like to talk about it, but in the private, in the members, we talked about the fact that I lose money on this thing, which is fine. I mean, but it would be nice to at least break even. And I do put all my time into it. I do. Now I'm investing anyway, so a lot of this time I'm doing this, but I do this more than full time. I have always been a person. I started out in public accounting, so 70, 80, 90 hour work weeks were the normal there. So that's nothing that I'm not used to. I'm gonna do something in all those hours anyway. So I like reading financial statements. So I have fun and I enjoy doing it. But, it is a money loser. You get pennies from YouTube. So, anyway. Let's see. So, Mark is asking, can you cover Galaxy Digital? And I will tell you, we did talk about Galaxy Digital at great length. That is one of the ones that the members chose as a deep dive. So I'm going to give you the Cliff's Notes. This is absolutely just my personal opinion. I am staying away from Galaxy Digital. I found some things on that deep dive that I found to be quite shocking. So, and that's really the only time that's happened on one of the members' picks. We've had so many awesome picks. This one, this caught me by surprise. I saw some stuff in there that I don't think makes sense, and I don't think people realize, and I am personally, this is not financial advice. You guys can all go buy Galaxy Digital if you want to, and maybe you'll be right, and maybe I'm overthinking things, but that's really the only deep dive I've done where I was like, whoa, I'm personally scared of this stock, if that helps at all. But obviously, do your own due diligence. You may come to a totally different conclusion. Jeff said, boycott Starbucks, go to Dutch Brothers. Oh, yeah, that's one of your... Dutch Brothers keeps trying to... That's been Jeff's recommendation for a deep dive video. It's going to win one of these weeks. No, I'm not. I almost never buy coffee out anymore because it's crazy. number one, I told you what I was drinking, and it is. It's like it was. I think it was more than 1,200 calories. I mean, that was like a heavy dinner. And there were times, I will admit, I did multiple of those in a day. I am not a morning person, so I like to caffeine up in the morning. So that's why I switched to, it was not good. The calories and the sugar and everything was insanity. I'm not disrespecting Starbucks. Your triple venti mocha was great while it lasted, but I just can't do that anymore. It's way. People don't realize they're ordering a cup of coffee and it's 1,000 calories or more. I mean, that's not what you're thinking. So I'm doing black coffee for the time being. I'm a good solid year into that, and I'm not going back. Yeah, I would do the triple venti. It's like, that's what I'm saying. To me, coffee is just a delivery device to get caffeine into my body so that I can function in the morning. I am a night person by nature, so a lot of this due diligence that I do, it's at 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning. Those are my hours where I'm the most alert. So, I probably don't get enough sleep as a result of that, unfortunately, because the rest of the world, doesn't operate that way. But that's why I drink a lot of coffee. Crypto M is saying, is it too late to buy CleanSpark and Marathon? So I'll bring up one of those charts because we'll do both of them actually. First, I'm going to start here. So CleanSpark had a nice day, up 8.5%. That was, not even one of the big movers at all, but a very nice day. I mean, nobody can complain on an up 8.5% day. Well, I guess you can complain, but who's listening? So here again, this is where CleanSpark is. Now, CleanSpark did not take as big of a hit from the top back in November of 2021. It was about $14. Well, actually, that's not the top. That was that nice run in March of 2022 when Bitcoin ran back up to 48,000. CleanSpark, yeah. If I go all the way back, CleanSpark, before they were doing anything, they were mining, 10 Bitcoin a month. This was a $40 stock. So that was a part of the madness in that January, December of 2020, January and February of 2021. There were a lot of small cap, high growth stocks. Remember, they weren't even a Bitcoin miner. Yes, they had just bought a tiny Bitcoin mining facility, but they were all about microgrids. Obviously, now they've done a 180-degree turnaround. So, some of those old highs I don't count at all, but I do count, even if we disregard this March of 2022 high, and we just look at, the one that I have been talking about with all the other ones, this is August. This is August 11th, 2022. So that's the last time Bitcoin was at $25,000. So, my question is, if Bitcoin runs to $25,000, let's say, for instance, tomorrow, CleanSpark still has another 92% move just to get back to where they were. And by the way, they've almost tripled their exahash since then. They've been a leader in operations. They mine a massive amount of Bitcoin. Their cost control is good. CleanSpark's a company that I like a lot. I think, to me, even just to get back to where it was, back to this $6 or $7 mark, that, to me, it's underpriced at that, in my opinion. Now, they've done some dilution. There is no doubt. So, the price isn't always a 1-to-1 ratio because, with stock dilution, that changes the equation a little bit. But in my opinion, they've added more value by far than the dilution that they've done, in my opinion. So to me, I think CleanSpark is going to be one of the winners, and I think the winners are all nowhere near where they're going to end up being. And if we look at Marathon, I'm not sure if we did this earlier or not, but either way, Marathon is up 150% in the last, couple of months, let's call it. So that's a nice run up, but it was up 205%. And I'm going to do the same thing. You'll see on every one of my charts, I have this line right here. This green line. Nope. That's not the right line. Wow, this one even has to go. This green line. This is back in August. So for Marathon, even with 150% run up, they'd have to run up another 137% just to get back to where they were the last time Bitcoin was at $25,000. And remember, Marathon went through some tough times in the middle. They had a month where they mined 72 Bitcoin. So they have turned things around in a major way. There's about half the people out there that think I absolutely despise Marathon. There's about half the people that think I absolutely love Marathon and I'm in the tank for Marathon. So it's really neither of those. I just try to follow all these along and look at the potential risk reward. And when I look at this one, I mean, you just can't argue with the fact well, I guess you can argue with it, but in my personal opinion, there is a lot of upside left on this stock. So if Bitcoin stays healthy, Marathon's been giving better and better operational reports. I think that's going to continue, but you never know. They did disappoint with their operational reports so many times, almost every single month of the entire year 2022. But I'm wondering and hoping maybe they've turned the corner, and we'll see. So I see a lot of potential upside for this. Now, if Bitcoin doesn't do its thing and we go retest lows, like all these stocks, it's 60%. It would be a 60% drop just to get back to where it was in December. So, if Bitcoin has a short-term pullback and retests its lows, all of these stocks are going to pull way back in all likelihood. But for me, I'll consider that a buying opportunity, but obviously everybody's got to make their own decision on that one. So Crypto is saying, I feel a bit of FOMO. So especially with CleanSpark. With CleanSpark, let me go back to CleanSpark because they, on Marathon's up 150% from December. So I understand, and it's had a really, really nice 2 days. I mean, it was up 18% today, and it was up pretty much that much yesterday. So let's just see these. It's up 38% in the last 2 days. So it can. Buying that right now may feel an awful lot like FOMO, and I understand that. But when you look at it in the big picture, just from where it was, this is when Bitcoin was at 21,000. Marathon was up over $15. So Bitcoin's over 24,000 right now, and Marathon's at $8. So that's how I look at it. It's nice to dollar cost average in as you go. So I never just enter a position and go, okay, now I'm in Marathon. I'm going to put my full position in. I opened positions in 2023 in Stronghold and in Wolf. I've gotten one chance to add to both of those positions. And now it's probably going to be a while before I dollar cost average into Stronghold. They were up 30% today. So, now, same thing you said, I feel like I would be chasing, jumping in up 30%. But for CleanSpark, from the bottom, well, they're up over 100%, so 105%-ish, but this is one of the lower performing out of all the Bitcoin miners. There's I think 8 or 10 of these up over 100% since December. So they pulled more than a double. Some have pulled a triple or a quadruple or more than a quadruple. So there's been a lot of very good price action on a lot of these stocks. Also, I will keep saying volatility is the word. This is a super, super, super green board. But 2 days ago, this was just a straight up brutal red board from top to bottom. So, that's the journey with the Bitcoin miners and to some extent with Bitcoin. Let's see. Alex, 1 Starbucks per day, the price of joining membership. Why not 2 Starbucks? Can we vote to increase the fee to $10? I will do a vote with the members for that. That's Thank you, Alex. I appreciate your, and Alex has suggested a lot of excellent videos, so we do a vote. Some of his videos have won, and we've done a deep dive. Alex also, well, sorry if I'm oversharing on your behalf, Alex, but Alex does a lot of swing trading and has recommended an awful lot of, I'm not going to say recommended. Alex has mentioned an awfully lot of good swing trades that have worked out, you know, just the way that he hoped they would. So that's some of the other stuff. That's why I have the private Discord for the members and that kind of stuff, because a lot of you guys just talk to each other. I mean, I pop in there multiple times a day, but a lot of you are having conversations, you know, without me, and there's a lot of good info in there. So I appreciate all the members. We really have a different level of viewer, subscriber, member. So if you're watching this, you're probably, you know, one of the more experienced investors. Also, you're probably somebody that's got some staying power, because, you know, it's been pretty tough to ride out this storm with the Bitcoin miners and with Bitcoin. So if you're still hanging on, congratulations to everybody watching. Ed said, I'm happy to support the channel. Just what I've made last month, thanks to the work, makes it a huge bargain. Well, thank you, Ed. I appreciate that. Much appreciated. Let's go see where Bitcoin is. So we're still hanging out. 24,263. So we haven't had this breakout yet. This is my next stop, I'm hoping. We will see. Let's see what the 4-hour, because this was I mean, look at the 4-hour trajectory here. This is wild. But the thing was, this is why I felt so strongly that we were going to finish this run out. We got a full, on the 4-hour RSI, we got a full, absolute, complete reset. This thing was trading up, right? If I go to January 13th, this was at 92.5. So the daily RSI was in overbought, almost unprecedented overbought territory. We got to reset ourselves all the way down to 24. Now we've run all the way back up to 85. But we ran up to 92.5 last time. And, you know, we don't know where the top is. But this is showing, you know, this isn't going to last forever. These are the indicators that let you know, listen, this thing isn't going to last forever, but I do think there's more room left, and I want to look at the 1 day. Because to me, this we also got an all-important So back in November of 2022, we got all the way down to oversold. Then we got to some crazy, crazy numbers. On the daily, it was 76. I remember a bigger number than that. Maybe that's it. Oh, because I'm on CleanSpark. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Let's see. Thank you, FV702. Starbucks is on me after this. All right. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to answer them if I can. Let's go to the 1 day here. Yeah, see, this is what I remember. So Bitcoin on the 1 day got up to almost 90 on the daily RSI. So again, you got to go back. I'll show you how far you have to go back. I mean, you got to go all the way back to, this is January of 2021. So this was when the run started. If you guys remember, December, January of 2021, December, January, February, that's when Bitcoin took off. That's when it broke out of that $20,000 range and went straight to the moon. That's the last time we ever got this high on the daily RSI. So we did revisit that. We just revisited that. So this was in the middle of January, but we had a nice cool off. It got a little bit under 50, kind of went sideways, and now we're headed back up. So I do think that this is where it gets tough. Thank you, sir. Alex, wow, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Let's see. Alex is saying 50. 50 what? 50, is that a question or an answer? 50 on the RSI. Cleanspark to 50. I just want to quickly look at, because this is the other thing. If you look at the MACD, I mean, we haven't even had a bullish crossover yet here on the daily on the MACD. So, you know, obviously this got us a lot of the way there, but that is not confirmed. This uptrend is not yet confirmed. We have not yet gone green on the daily. So, you know, there's the potential for one of these runs to happen. Now, that doesn't always happen. Sometimes we get close and then we turn around and go back in the other direction. So just because we're close to a bullish crossover doesn't mean that it's guaranteed that we're going to get one. But we certainly seem to be trending in that direction. And today, obviously, was off the charts. So this is what I'm looking at. This is why I feel like there's some room left to run. This is why I think, 25,000 is in reach. And then for me, I'm going to really have to reset my thought process and see, is this in reach? This gap I talked about earlier, which gets us almost up to 29,000. So we'll have to see what everything looks like. If you go, I'm keeping my eye on this as well. If you look a month ago, the Fear and Greed Index was 26. I'm going to show you what it was for the year. For the last year, we have been in... Whoa, Alex, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Throw a question at me if you can. Thank you for your support. Thanks, everybody. All right. Thank you, Alex, in specific. That is very generous. I appreciate it. Let's see. Fear and Greed Index. We spent last year in somewhere between fear and extreme fear. 10 is about as low as this thing has ever gotten. I believe this index is now 5 years old. So, it hasn't been through all of the Bitcoin cycles. This is the crypto fear and greed index, not the equity markets fear and greed index. So this, I think, dates back 5 years. So we spent some time in I should have pulled up my little chart with my notes on it, but you'll get the point. See, you almost can draw a line here with your mind. Every single one of these points is 20. So all these lows that it hit from here to here, it bounced off of 20. And that started, I'm even really going to go back here. That started July 14th. So back in, the middle of June, remember we had that flash crash in June. We had a week where we were at 6 or 7 or 8 on the Fear and Greed Index. The Fear and Greed Index has never spent a week in those numbers. This was by far the most extreme fear in the history of this indicator. So to me, I was feeling like that's the bottom. That corresponded with the flash crash. So even as the FTX situation happened, if you go forward... So on November 6th, we were actually peaking a little. And remember, we looked at the chart. I had a yellow arrow. We were in the middle of a nice little rally. And then we were at, even that rally took us only to 40 on the Fear and Greed Index. And then right back down to 20 by the time this was done. So, but my point being, even as bad as the FTX situation was, where Bitcoin got even lower, it took out its previous low. It's still we never got back to this fear. To me, this was maximum fear. I don't think we're getting back here. And now we went, we were setting lower highs on the Fear and Greed Index. Now we've set a higher high. We got up to 61, and we've been hanging out above 45 this is since January 16th. So that's 1 month ago. So for the last month, we've been between 45 and 61. We haven't seen this kind of action in a long, long, long time. And there is room to run, because if I go beyond this, you're going to see, I mean, in a real bull market, here, we're at 92 in December of 2020, again in February of 2021. This isn't showing me the right number, but 84. So on November 9th, which was within days of the peak of Bitcoin, we were up at 84 on the Fear and Greed Index. And you can see there's times we stay there for a while. So sitting where we are right now, we just reset. We got as much as 61. Last week was 60. We're reset down to 48. So that to me also says there's plenty of room left here to have a nice little run. And that's the run. That's my question mark. Is that gets us maybe from 25 to 29,000. If we could possibly have that run, then I would expect to be somewhere much higher into the greed. And, you know, then that would really be an indicator that maybe it's time for a break. But we're not there yet. I don't know that we're even getting there. I hate to get ahead of ourselves because we haven't even gotten where I've been trying to go for the last few months. So first things first, let's get to 25,000. But those are some of the reasons that I do think there's some opportunity ahead to run. But I will remind everybody, I have personally been fooled more than once by Bitcoin. So, you know, there's a lot of other, any one indicator is not enough. There's so many indicators to look at. And one of the things that I do want to take a deeper look at is what's going on with the longs and the shorts. So if we're getting to this because people are leveraging themselves long, then we're going to get burned. That's how that story ends every time. But if we're not there yet, then, you know, maybe there's still room left to run. Alex said, if not a member, just join. Thank you, Alex, for the shout out. I appreciate it. Alex was one of the first members, I believe. Ty said, today Bitcoin leads the market again, which means the rally will last longer than expected. I like your line of reasoning. I'm good with that. FV is asking, does Europe keep buying tonight? So that's going to be interesting to see, do we cool off overnight or does the rally continue? Because we've flipped over to, well, I guess everybody's in bed now. But will you guys buy when you wake up in the morning, I guess, is what you're asking. Well, there's still time left tonight. And then we'll see what Asia does, but usually not good things happen in those hours. So we'll have to see where we're at tomorrow morning. What would be really, really nice if, you know, I'm getting greedy and I want to run straight to 25,000, but what would be very, very nice is you can see this line at around 23,200. If we could hold that, honestly, even if we could hold this purple line at around 22,400. I know that's a little bit of a pullback from here. That's a $2,000 pullback, which I don't want. Even this is a $1,000 pullback at this point. So, you know, I'm hoping we don't have that either. But if we have to retest and find a line of support, hopefully we find it somewhere in this area and, you know, then take a bounce up to 25,000. Actually, hopefully, if we're lucky, we go straight to 25,000. But one of the things you don't want is to get too overheated. But you can see on the, I'm just going to go to the daily MACD. I mean, nothing about this says we are way overheated right now. You know, there looks like room to run here. So this could go either way. Brent said, did anyone notice some miners only kept pace with the Bitcoin move today? Yeah, I mean, these things don't move together. It seems like everybody gets their turn And it's not everybody, right? There's no guarantee that every single one of these Bitcoin miners is going to succeed over the course of the long haul. I do think more of these are going to succeed than all of us thought, 6 months ago. 6 months ago, I think the consensus, myself included, was, man, a lot of these guys aren't going to get to the finish line. But what I was saying earlier was, I think a lot of those companies, they massively... Oh, this is George. Let me tell him I'm on the stream because I sent him an invite. George, you're on the stream, live. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I'll do it again, though, because it was a while ago. And you're welcome to, I don't know if you're still on the job or if you're a place you can jump in. I sent you an invite so you can jump in at any time, but I don't. All right, cool. We'll see you then. All right, that was George, everybody. Hopefully he's going to jump into the stream shortly. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Yeah, so, these things don't move in exact unison. You can see, listen, Cleanspark's one of my big positions, but it was up 8% today just like Bitcoin was. So, I definitely could complain, but I'm not going to. Up 8.5% is a great day. And there are other days, there will be other days, I believe, that Cleanspark outperforms, and is a leveraged play. Riot did its thing. It was, Marathon, 18%. I mean, that's a large market cap company to go up 18% in one day. So, that kind of did its thing. Cypher was up 20%. So these are the leveraged that I expect. On a day where Bitcoin's up 8%, these things should be up between 18 and 24%, in my opinion. That would be like business as usual. But it doesn't always work out exactly that way every single day for every single Bitcoin miner. But you can see we had big winners. I mean, Cypher was up 20%, and they were already on a run. Iris Energy was on a run, and they were up 67%. I mean, I think we looked at this, but I'm going to look at it again because, well, first let's see what's going on with Stronghold. See, so Stronghold, this is one of the reasons that I bought them. They kind of, in my opinion, almost double bottomed here. And in the meantime, they have totally restructured their debt in a way where I'm a big fan of this company. It's still one of my smaller positions because it's a newer position. But I like what these guys are doing. Now, they did run up 30% on the day today. But, where's this? This was in September, so where's my August line? Wow. Well, and again, this one isn't fair. So for Stronghold, for some of these, you have to remember, Stronghold drastically changed their business model. So to try and retrace back to some of these numbers is not necessarily fair because they handed in the vast majority of their Bitcoin mining machines to relieve the vast majority of their debt, and then they just finished restructuring the rest of their debt. So they are a different company now. I think they're a good company. I think their stock is going to go up from here. Today, obviously, they had a huge bump. But they got a long way to go. But I don't know, I don't know that these are reasonable price targets. We just got up to 61 cents, and this was a different company back here. So, and that is true for several of these. And that was my original point that I was just making is a lot of these companies, while they didn't go out of business, they did have to make some pretty brutal changes to their business just to stay alive and save themselves from going out of business. All right, let's see. Stock ticker IREN. This is from Brent. Iris Energy had a plan to go to 5.5 exahash now. They may still be doing their earnings call while we do this. Oh, yeah. Should go see if they're doing that. Yeah, and I did do a deep dive on them today if you guys want to check that video out. And I went through exactly what Brent is talking about. They are massively increasing their exahash. This was I'll call it an elaborate plan that, took 3 or 4 months to execute. I feel that this worked out exactly precisely as they wanted it to. They ended up right where they wanted to end up. And I think I'm sorry I didn't get in on that run, because I think they did exactly what they wanted to do. And you'll see if you watch my video, I think there's room left to run for them as well. Alex is saying we are right on resistance at the 5-minute. Hopefully ceiling becomes the floor, but we should see a pullback to support after breaking resistance. Here's how I'm looking at it. We got all night until the equity markets open tomorrow morning. So, for those of you trading Bitcoin directly, you're probably not day trading it, so you're not going to necessarily buy and sell. All right, hold on. Let me switch over. We have a special guest.
Hang on a second. Hey, buddy. Can I get an unsweet tea, please?
You are live. George is getting an unsweet tea.
Okay.
Water with lemon.
Sure.
Jump in whenever you want, George. I put you in the picture. Well, he might not hear me. He looks like he doesn't have headphones on.
I can hear you. Hang on 1 second.
Oh. Quirchy's asking how much exahash does Stronghold have? It's not a lot left. I thought maybe they kept... I can look that up. I think they might have as much as 1 exahash. They might even have more than that. But one of the things that's happening with Stronghold is they generate their own power. And for a lot of the last several months, they were making more money selling the power to the grid than they were mining Bitcoin. So, they weren't mining at their full potential because they were making more money by doing otherwise. Now, with Bitcoin back up to 24 or 25,000, that equation probably changes. So, if I don't quote me, I think they might even have like 1.3 exahash or something like that, but for some reason I'm not remembering it right off the top of my head. So,
I had to get my studio lighting set up.
Whoa. You look live.
This is for the rest of the world that doesn't have sun right now.
Yeah, we got some sunshine today. We got to eat outside today. It was very nice.
Do you know in New York and Canada, isn't it dark out already? Let me know.
It's probably dark, yeah.
It has to be.
If anybody's in New York and Canada, I'm sure, let us know. I'm sure it's dark. I mean, after the time change in where we grew up, by really 4:45, it was dark. It was like dark. I had a class that ended at 4:20, and by the time I got back to my dorm room, this was like decades and decades and decades ago, but the sun still
Tom, what's
works the
Bitcoin
same way.
at right now?
Bitcoin's on fire.
Did it go 23 what?
24,271.
Are you kidding me?
I kid you not. Bitcoin had a day today.
I'm so...
Oh, you didn't tell people what you did.
No, I'm not telling. Why are you going to bring up my bad stuff?
It wasn't bad. It was neutral, but it could have been great.
No, I bet you CleanSpark's over $4, right?
No, it's at 356.
What? How is that possible?
That's where it is.
Are you kidding me?
It's up.
That doesn't even make logical sense.
It did not have as much of a run as some of the other Bitcoin miners had. Some of these things went ballistic today, George. There was Iris Energy is up 67%. HUT is up 14%, despite the fact that they have not yet cleared me to show the video that is sitting and growing old.
Tom is pissed, by the way. He won't tell you. Just remember, 5-1, guys. 5-1.
I am very hopeful that I get to put that video out tomorrow morning. So I did, for those of you who weren't on the stream earlier, I did sit down with Sue Ennis on Monday, and we had a nice talk. And I asked her, I asked her a bunch of questions regarding their upcoming potential merger, and because they're in the middle of this merger, they need some special clearance to air the video. So I haven't gotten the thumbs up yet.
So
let's just say that.
Basically what you're saying is when you're a stupid person, you can get a video up really quick. But when you ask intelligent questions, it takes a minute. I guess that's basically what we're being told.
I did not say that. I've heard that though.
When you ask softball questions and not stuff like what you really need to know, well, we can't. And I know it was probably, well, we can't answer that. We can't answer that. But that's ridiculous.
I think we had a good conversation. There was a couple of times that she said, obviously, I can't give you financial details, but I think you guys are going to find out. I asked all the questions, and we did get some really good clarifications. Yeah. So
I got one for you. Ready?
If I'm ever allowed to show you.
Ready? Short squeeze. No, short it. That's all I'm saying. I want that thing to run up because I'm shorting it.
You're short and hot? George is short and hot.
I'm going to wait for 25. I'm not going to do it until it gets over 25. This is not financial advice. I'm risky. But, think about it. Are you doing a 5-for-1 reverse split, basically?
Yes.
That's not cool.
Well?
That's not cool at all.
A lot of people agree with you that the stocks, we go in detail exactly what they're doing with their stock, and that is a lot of people's issue with what's going on. So I'm going to leave it for the interview to explain itself, and hopefully you guys, it'll be up tomorrow.
Are there any audited financials of the other company? What is their value?
So we don't yet know that. That is information that will be forthcoming before the voters of HUT actually get to vote whether they want this merger or not. Remember, this is not a done deal. They got to clear a lot of hurdles, one of which is their own, shareholders voting yes to this. So
remember, so what you're saying is this company, I won't say it, there could be a lot of turbulence. So what I'm saying is to get to the finish line, there's going to be a lot of turbulence. Because what about the lawsuit? Were you able to speak about that?
I didn't even talk to her. I know what her answer is going to be on that. They issued a press release that this is now a legal matter and they really can't discuss it any further until it's done. That is their lawsuit with Validus at, I can't remember what it's called, but one of their 3 facilities in Canada is basically now shut down. And it has been for several months. They're in a dispute with their energy provider.
Dude, this is starting to smell like, who was it? Eni, and what was the name of that other company?
Eni Sphere 3D,
yeah,
Griffin.
This is starting to smell a little stinky. Because, so what you're saying is they're not really mining anything right now. They're going to probably same numbers as last month or maybe a couple more.
I think they mined 188 in the month of January, if I'm remembering correctly. They were mining more than that, so that is... that's more than they mined in December, but they were mining more than that. And obviously, post-merger, if they can get all this done, they should be mining a lot more than that. But, like I said, you know what I mean? We're not there yet, so we don't know.
Yeah, but that's, did they ever release they did release their numbers for last month?
Yes, they released their numbers for last month. They just did. That might have been today. It was like yesterday or today. Might have been the day I talked to Sue. I don't remember. It was very recently. They just released their numbers, and I'm almost positive it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but I think they mined 188 Bitcoin in January.
That's crazy.
Barry said it's just getting dawn. Where are you, Barry? Where in the world is Barry?
I knew Barry was a foreigner. The way he talks to me.
Yeah, well, guess what? You're the foreigner for Barry.
No.
That's how it works.
He's probably in BRICS. Which one of the BRICS country is he in?
I'll wait and see if he answers where he's at. Some Cleanspark whale said Cypher just jumped. Let's see if he's talking about after hours. Whoa.
Was that what a jump?
Whew. It's up. It was up almost 21% on the day. It's up another almost 15% after hours.
Oh, wow, 40% in one
This
day?
is another one that I do not own, FYI. So I'm trying not to be jealous. I'll be happy for everybody that does own Cypher out there. I did do a deep dive on Cypher recently. I think they're doing awesome stuff. They have massive potential. So you guys can check that out. I think we just lost George. Let's see if he finds his way back. I'll give him a minute. But that, I have not enjoyed this run up either. So this was not one of my big positions. But congratulations to everybody that owns Cypher. Is there any news? There doesn't look like there's any news. How was today's volume? Was a little high, but, you know, it was not some madness. 1.8 million versus more like usually a million. So that's not a big deal. Let's see what Iris Energies was today, volume-wise. Yeah, see, this is a big volume day. So Iris Energy was up 67%. Their average daily volume is about 400,000, 429,000. They traded almost 6 million shares today. That's when you've made a big move. And obviously you can see they did make a big move. They're giving a little bit of it back after hours here. I will say I don't always trust after hours. Sometimes, especially like if you look at Iris Energy, you see on a normal day, they only trade 400,000 shares all day long. So after hours, it could be next to no shares trading. Now, today they did trade a huge amount, so I don't know what's going on after hours there at the moment. All right, let's see. Oh, that's right. Barry is in Thailand. Well, that's awesome. So you're getting the sun coming up. We're still watching it go down over here. Barry's asking, didn't you own Palantir? Yeah, not only that, but I had scheduled to do a video on Palantir on Monday. This is turning out to be one of those weeks. Listen, I'm going to stop. I'm thankful for this week. This was an unbelievably green day, so all's good. But I will tell you, I'm a little frustrated. Monday, I planned on doing a Palantir video, and it took me so long to coordinate everything with Hut, but I thought, that one's more important. But now it's Wednesday at the end of the day, and I still haven't even been able to post the Hut video. And in the meantime, Palantir went off to the races. So I missed my window for the Palantir video, I guess is my point. So it was up 10% today. Let me switch views because I think George probably is gone. Just a quick reminder. Remember to smash the like button. We're over 100 likes. Thank you, everybody, very much. So appreciate it. It helps the live stream out a lot. So thanks to over the 100 people who smashed the like button already. Much appreciated. Jeff is saying Palantir has only just begun. So I don't think I missed the move. I think I missed my opportune moment to put out a Palantir video. Because let's look at... Well, let's look at this. So this was Monday. This was the day I was supposed to put the Palantir video out. And this was right before earnings. So we knew, there could be good news or bad news, and there could be a big move. But had I put that out from there, we're up. Palantir's up 33% since Monday. So that is a huge, huge move to the upside. And it's approaching... I haven't really looked at this in a while, but it's approaching one of my lines. So we'll see if that turns out to be resistance or not. But I agree. I don't think Palantir's done. this is, if you're a Palantir swing trader, you know, this is getting close to the top of their range if you go all the way back to May of 2022. But if you're a buy and hold, then, you know, this is a beautiful couple of days for Palantir. Cleanspark well said, debating on getting into Iris right now. I know I have the hardest time, and I missed some things. And I can tell you, I missed this Iris run just because of the last few days of action. I didn't buy in. Cypher has also had a nice run, so I felt like I missed that. But really, you know, this might have been a little foreshadowing here. This did get up to, back on February 2nd, this got up to, you know, $2.90-ish, so just under $3. So that could be where it's heading. That would be no surprise. And obviously, Iris has a long way to run, in my opinion. Jeff saying Palantir's at the sell calls level. So, yeah, when something gets overheated like this, for those of you who do work in calls and buying and selling calls, I would agree with Jeff. After days like this and after little runs like this is the perfect time to sell a call option. You know, just a little bit out. How I do it is just a little bit out of the money. So your worst case scenario is it goes up enough where you make the money in between and you make the money for what you sold the call for. And most of the times it ends up, you know, you don't have to give your shares up. But if you don't know about selling options, please look into it and invest carefully. That is not beginner level stuff by any means. BA said, looking at Iris now, it's painfully obvious. Yeah, I know. That was just sitting there waiting to happen. And I think there's some more that are waiting to have big runs up. I expect several of these Bitcoin miners to have very big runs up from here. Even some of the ones that are already up 100% or more. So we'll see. A lot of these down at the bottom of this list, even after these big runs, these are still very small market cap companies. So, for instance, Stronghold is one of my new 2023 investments. You know, it's up 30% today. It's still only a $21 million market cap company. I mean, the amount of infrastructure that Stronghold has is so significantly more than that, that I feel like there's massive potential with Stronghold. And I like what they do as a company. It's a very cool thing that they're doing. They're doing something, you know, there's a lot of this intangible green stuff where you're buying carbon credits and that kind of stuff. These guys are cleaning things up in a way that nobody else is doing. So I love what they're doing, and they're finding a way to do that and turn it into energy and mine Bitcoin all at the same time. So to me, I love the story, and I do like the stock. I think it's a strong company. I think they got into a situation where they were on the brink of going out of business, and that was about liquidity and cash flow, and that's always what it's about. So, you know, a lot of these companies, it doesn't mean they were bad businesses. It just means, you know, maybe they overextended themselves or, you know, maybe a lot of these companies just didn't see Bitcoin 16,000 coming. I didn't. I mean, we got there, but I wouldn't have guessed that a year ago. Green or red day tomorrow for the miners. Let's do that quick poll. That's an easy, quick poll. What happened? Give me just a second. All right, super simple. What are the miners going to do tomorrow? We have another green day tomorrow, or are we going to have a pullback after such a massive green day today? Cast your votes. There's nothing at stake here, so it's free to vote. Brent, I was nibbling at Iris at $1.78 on Friday. Should have been smashing buy. I mean, that would have been perfect timing. At least, hey, listen, at least you got some. Sometimes that's how you got to look at it, you know, especially if you're a dollar cost average type person like I am. I don't always get to my full position that I want to get to. Having said that, I will tell you on something like Bitfarms, I'm way past what I originally considered was going to be my full position, because I dollar cost averaged in a lot longer than I expected I would have to. Raul saying 112 people on the stream. All right, we are over 100. Thank you, everybody that's joined us on the stream. Much appreciated. Thanks for everybody that has hit the like button. Thank you for all the members that are currently on the stream. I see the chat board is full of members right now, so much appreciated. And thanks for all the views. I will try to get more videos out. I really got turned upside down this week. My week got derailed a little bit, but I got a lot of videos in store for the week, so there'll be more to come. Brent said, see you, President Jeff. Jeff is President Jeff inside of the members world. Raul, 112 likes. Nice. That might be our all-time record. Thank you, everybody, for smashing the like button. I'm going to peek at how the poll is doing. So if you haven't voted and you're on, I know some of you sometimes are on a device or driving or whatever where you can't vote, but if you can vote, we got a lot of people that haven't voted yet. Let's see, green. What are the miners going to do tomorrow, green or red? So I guess inherent in that question is what's Bitcoin going to do tomorrow? Unless you think they can go their separate ways for a day, but are we going to be green tomorrow? Or are we going to be red tomorrow? What does everybody think? Alex said, bye, everyone. Alex, thanks again. Thank you so much. Extremely generous. Thanks for being a member and all of your tips and comments and suggestions. So have a great night. Old Jock McScroat sold a third of my Iris Energy at $4.15 today. Hopefully they get a pullback tomorrow. I mean, there is no way you're going to get me to disagree with that move. That's taking profits is a part of this situation, right? We can't, I call myself buy and hold, but we can't all buy and hold everything forever. We also, if we're not taking profits, then we're never making any money. So I salute you, old jock. That sounds like you killed it on Iris Energy today. Well done. Congratulations. Barry said, BitBoy did a piece on Silvergate. I watched that only because I very rarely, actually, I'll tell you what I do with BitBoy. I won't say that I never watch him. I can't watch hour videos and that, but sometimes if he does a really short video and it's on something that I have interest in, I will watch it. So I did watch his video. It was an interesting video. I felt it was a little conspiracy theory-esque, but I know he likes to be provocative and do that. There's a lot more going on with Silvergate than what he talked about. That is one of the deep dive. That's the next video I'm going to be putting out for the members. Thought I was going to get that out today, but again, this week isn't going exactly as planned. But that will come out shortly. I'm almost done with that. Let's see. Let me go back to... So my point was, Stronghold, right? I mean, there's an awful lot of room to the upside when you're a $20 million market cap company. Right? That yes, $20 million is a lot of money, but when you're talking about a publicly traded company, I mean, these guys are publicly traded on the NASDAQ. This is not an over-the-counter. And they're at $20 million. They were many, many, many multiples larger than this in the past. Now, like I said, they did have to revise their business model a lot, so it's not necessarily comparing apples to apples, but you can see this was a $14 company within the last 52 weeks, and it's a 61-cent company after it had a huge run-up today. So, you know, could $20 million market cap turn into $100 million? That's a 5x. That could happen easily for this company. Or the other thing could happen. That's the whole point. Red to green for the Bitcoin 25K move this weekend. That's from Reese. Reese is thinking this weekend. Let's see. Let's check in. Let's check in on the poll. All right. Give you a couple more minutes to vote, but it looks like it decisively, we think it's going to be a green day tomorrow. 77% are saying the Bitcoin miners are going to be green tomorrow. So I don't know if we're all just happily optimistic after such an awesome, really 2 days in a row now, and breaking through some big lines. I mean, this was a gigantic breakout. So, you know, I don't know if it's tomorrow or the next day, but this definitely doesn't look like something that that's running out of steam, in my opinion. But Bitcoin is a funny beast, and you never know what it's going to do. But I'm shooting for 25,200. I've been saying that for several months, so I can't change my mind now. We're almost there. So go Bitcoin, 25,200. That's the goal. Let's see. All right, that catches me up. Cleanspark Whale, you don't know how many times I've gotten that comment. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I look like him or I saw. Cleanspark Whale said, when did Ray Romano start covering Bitcoin? I don't feel like I look like Ray Romano, but I know that people do, and it's not just a little bit. I've gotten that comment hundreds of times, and I'll tell you a very quick story. I was in line getting ice cream once at Cold Stone, and there was an older couple, and they were arguing with each other, and I couldn't, get the whole gist of their argument, but I heard them saying, like, Seinfeld, is it Seinfeld? And so I just jumped in, and I'm like, are you thinking Ray Romano? And they're like, thank you so much. Yes, you look just like Ray Romano. So I get that all the time for some reason. Let's see. Joe said, as soon as Peter Griffin on the camera, I'm out. Is Peter Griffin George, Joel? Is that what you're saying? Is he our Peter Griffin? George brings a certain something to the stream. I have not looked at the... Michael Anthony's asking, did you look at Iris's report after the close? So I haven't. I've literally been setting up this stream and then doing this stream, so I'm going to have to take a look. I did see that they were trading down a little bit, but they were up huge today, so I don't know that that was a function of... Yeah, I'm not going to go through this live. I'll do the complete read through, and we'll listen to the call. Guess I'm going to have to listen to it after the fact, but that's fine. It doesn't change. So we'll see what's going on here. It's hard to say. I mean, down 14% is not a bad reaction when you were up 67% on the day today. So, and maybe this allows a little bit of a buying opportunity for some people that feel like they missed it. And we had our member who got out at $4.15. So right now it looks like he played that correctly, because it's down to $3.67 after hours. We'll see what happens in the morning. Any reason why Bitcoin made a move today? Asks Maddox. I mean, I'm not going to say there was a reason today, a specific catalyst. I do think we've been on the verge of this breakout to the upside. We spent a couple of weeks. This run up was, it's coming up on a month ago that we had this gigantic up day. We've traded sideways for a long time after that. We had a nice pullback. So, I've been hoping. I did not know we were going to have a gigantic day like this, but I have been hoping and calling for the fact that I thought we would take, whether it was going to take a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, that we were going to hopefully run back up to 25,000. Why it jumped today, I don't know. Sometimes, there's a sell wall, and when it gets through that, there's just room and it runs, and everybody flips. So, and that may happen again. We really look like we have a very nice chance of getting a bullish crossover on the daily MACD tomorrow. So that might keep the thing running. Daniel said 80-day cycle started. So does that mean we get 80 days of bullish? BAA is saying the reports look good. I assume he's talking about Iris Energy. Darren, hello, welcome. Looked for a live stream earlier. I started at 4:30, I think, Darren, although, of course, I started 1 or 2 minutes late. And 4:15 is my normal time, but sometimes I do 4:30. It just depends how the day is going. Old Jack said, bought some Silvergate at $16 a few days ago after hearing that they top the list of most shorted stocks, something like 70-odd%. Maybe we'll get a squeeze. Yeah, you're not the only one who bought some Silvergate. So that may end up being a very good play. I guess time will tell. Some heavy hitters have jumped in there. It's a very strange situation what's going on there. It seems to me, though, like a spoiler alert. It seems like everything's going to work out for them. I am going to do my deep dive video, but that's my gut feeling. But I don't know that for a fact. Michael said, I didn't get an answer on any of my questions. On here on the stream? I just answered you. You said, did you look at Iris Energy report after the close? And I said I did not get a chance to look at that. Do you have other questions? Crypto Golfer says, I have 20% cash on the sidelines. Need one last pullback to FOMO it all in. So it's always good to have cash on the sidelines. 20%, is what a lot of people always talk about. That's a nice number. Yeah, through my options, I've been converting a little bit more to cash over the last month. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm not quite at 20% yet, but that is my goal. So, and again, I've been targeting this 25,000. So if we don't get to this 25,000, I'm not going to get exactly what I wanted, but that's where I will definitely sell a bunch more of my options, and I hold my stock. Daniel S. 80-day cycle starts. And then you said nope. Or NOP. Nope. No. Give us more. Oh. Great. Daniel said, great channel. Thank you. Gotta go. Thank you, Daniel. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for all your support. And thanks for your comments. Barry, 10K to 100K improvements. 10K to 100K massive improvements. I'll give you guys a quick update on that. I really want to start doing those videos once a month. I don't know why I haven't gotten around to that. The 10K challenge last year, we started in January of last year. We got, by we, I mean me, I got absolutely wrecked. I really did not think that through properly, in that one of the rules of the 10K challenge was I was not allowed to add any money for the whole year. So I started with 10K and that was it. So, within 75 days, I was mostly bought into the market. So that was buying, for me, more than a third of what I bought was in Bitcoin miners. Also, a lot of it was in small cap high growth. So if you guys remember, February and March, there was a really nice run with the Bitcoin miners and all the small cap high growth stocks. So that's when I was dollar cost averaging in. And then I was not allowed to dollar cost average in for the rest of the year. And the rest of the year was a nightmare. So I will tell you, I lost, I think, 81% last year in the 10K challenge. So that's what happened. That's one of the worst. No, it's not one of the worst. That's the worst portfolio I've ever had. But I mean, if you look at the stocks that were in the portfolio, it was 3 Bitcoin miners. It was Romeo, which went out of business in the middle. So obviously that was not a good pick. Technically, they didn't go out of business. They sold themselves, but they sold themselves for pennies on the dollar. So I thought they were going to turn the corner. They did not make it. Everything got much worse than I thought. Having said that, down 81% last year. So what I'm doing this year is tracking it 2 ways. I still want to track from the beginning because obviously this is a portfolio that is way down. But I'm also going to track from January 1st, 2023. So at one point, and it may be back there today. If not, it's very close. I've pretty much pulled a double in there so far in 2023. So things have been going very well, but, that still leaves me way, way short. It would be a tremendous year if I was able to get the 10K challenge back to 10K this year. That's my goal, and it's an aggressive goal, but I do think that we can do that. And I did manage to get a little money on the sideline there too, so that I can do a little bit of dollar cost averaging. So we'll see if I can salvage that, but that is the short version of what that journey has been so far. So I'm going to keep it open. I want to get it back to, first of all, step one, I want to get it back to $10,000. I mean, last year was just a disaster. Crypto Golfer, we might get to 25K during this stream. That would be nice. That I would love it if we could get to 25. We kind of seem to be a little bit sideways, but just one more breakout. I mean, we made up a lot of ground in one day today. This was a massive, massive up day. So that's why, somebody mentioned some of these Bitcoin miners, all they really did was move, 1 for 1 with Bitcoin, which technically really is underperforming. Hive was up 7.6%. CleanSpark was up 8.5%. Gree was up 9%. Wolf was up 8%. Mawson was up 7%. Those were pretty much on par with what Bitcoin did. So that is 1-to-1. And these really should be leveraged plays. But you never know what run they've been on lately. So, every single day does not work out like a leveraged play. But over the course of time, these do tend to work out. And if you watch my weekly updates, every weekend I do an update, you'll see almost every single one of these Bitcoin miners has been both to the downside in 2022 and now to the upside in 2023. The average is somewhere around a 3x leveraged play on Bitcoin. Some of them are even more than that. Brent said there is well-known short seller that hates Silvergate. So he's probably shorting. Well, he might be sorry. Obviously anything could happen, but I feel like that's taking the beating it's going to take. Daywalker, hello to you. Is CleanSpark still one of your top dogs after their quarterly statement? My answer to that is yes. I did not have the problem with their quarterly statement that most people had. I'm going into all these quarterly statements with the very low expectation. This is the period ended December 31st, 2022. October, November, December of 2022 was the peak misery for Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. So we know Bitcoin was at its historic lows, 5, 6, 7-year lows, which doesn't happen to Bitcoin on a 4-year cycle. So, the fourth quarter is not going to be great numbers. I know executive compensation is an issue with a lot of people at CleanSpark. I will tell you, I'm going to have Matt from CleanSpark on the channel. So, and that one is not going to have to go through whatever process this Hut 8 video is going through. So we're just setting a time right now. So we are going to get a chance to ask him some questions directly. But I'm totally satisfied with their report. And yeah, I still have them. I think they played this just right. I like what they're doing. I feel that did not put them down the list for me at all. I'm totally fine. No, it was not a home run report. A couple things in there that people didn't like, but I had very low expectations, and their story has not. That report does not change my mind about what CleanSpark is going to do in the next year or 2 or 3 or 5. So I'm still on board. I'm still a CleanSpark person. Chris is saying, hey, been watching your videos for a while. I'm a big holder of Hut 8 here in Canada. Love your content. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate that very much. I'm glad you enjoy. Michael Anthony, I must have lung surgery in the next few weeks to remove a spot from my lungs and could take 2 to 8 hours, the doctor said, and that's why I asked these questions. Oh, are you going to be sidelined? Is that what's happening? That sounds serious, Michael. I hope that everything goes okay. And Michael is giving further advice. If anyone smokes, please try to stop while you're young. I second that. Is Hut 8 doing a reverse split? So it's a complicated thing, and I want to wait. Sue and I go through exactly what they're doing with their stock in painstaking detail in the interview. So I think by the time you're done watching that, she also had some visual aids that Hut 8 made to walk people through this transaction, because I think it was a little more complicated than they expected. So I really have a great explanation in there. So I'm just going to ask you to just be one more day patient. I think I'm going to get to post that tomorrow. And then I really think that's one of the big questions that was very much clarified, exactly what is going on, how this merger is structured and what the stock is going to look like. So I'm going to leave that one to the video. So hopefully that I get to post that tomorrow. Brent said, sorry, Michael, I quit smoking 15 years ago. Best wishes. That is serious stuff. So we'll be thinking of you. It sounds like that's a couple weeks from now. Daywalker said, hope the operation goes well, buddy. Agreed. Tim is asking me, did I ever jump into Mara? You were considering it on Friday, and I missed the start of your stream. Soros news was huge. I have not jumped in to Mara. This is the hardest part, and it's not just the Bitcoin miners. I have so many. I had to sit there and watch my watch list last year just get beaten and pummeled and thrashed. And so last year what I did was just scale down to my absolute highest conviction plays, and I dollar cost averaged into those. This year, everything looks like a buy to me, and I don't think it's FOMO. I don't like to chase, so obviously, on a day when something's up 67%, that's not a day I'm going to buy in. But I did open a position in Stronghold before it had that nice run up. We got 30% on that today. And I opened a position in TerraWolf. So those are my 2 new Bitcoin miner positions in 2023. The 3 more that I wanted to open that I may still do Marathon, but I feel like I kind of missed Cypher. And, with what they did today, 67%, I really, really feel like I missed Iris Energy. I already felt like I missed it before this 67%. And that doesn't mean I don't think it's going up. I do think both of those have room to run to the upside. Big time. I hate buying in, halfway in the middle. So, and I think Marathon has a lot more room to run. Even though I know a lot of you think that I don't like Marathon, I'm pretty neutral on Marathon, and they just, I mean, just from a balance sheet standpoint, they just have a lot of potential. So, you know, we'll see how they do. I got to get them on the channel and talk to them. Aiden is saying it's doing a 5-to-1 split. That was in response to Brian. JD, hard to lose today unless you were short. Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, if you had a Bitcoin miner, I mean, this is almost every Bitcoin miner. There are a few very small Bitcoin miners I don't include on my list, and there are some companies that mine Bitcoin, but that's not their primary line of business, so I don't include them either. I do include MicroStrategy on this list, even though they don't mine Bitcoin, and that is per request. I got so many requests to keep that on, to put that on the list, and you know, consider that as a part of the mix. And I know they're a major player in the Bitcoin universe, so they make the list even though they're not a miner. Let's see. Ed, I have 2 hot $1 calls that expire 2/17, so hoping to hear your video before. Not sure if I should exercise or sell. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that that video goes up tomorrow. I will say, you know, I understand that they got to do their thing, but you know, it's been a couple days now. It's time to get that video up. So, knock on wood, hopefully that will be up tomorrow. If anybody's interested, we got today so far, we got a grand total of 0 new members. So if anybody is interested, I'm just going to put in the comments section. Membership is $5 a month, so it's not free, but it does help support the channel. I very much appreciate it. We have an outstanding group of members. Let me just press enter there. So there's a link that I just put in the chat if anybody is interested. I do appreciate the support. And like I said, we do once a week, every Tuesday after the market closes. So yesterday we had our members only live stream. So usually we're able to get a lot more done in a members only live stream just due to the nature of it. We also have a members only Discord that we started. So a lot of the members have made their way over there, and we're having, I can't tell you because, I will tell you, first of all, I don't remember who the person's name is, but we do have a helper moderating our free Discord. So if you're out there, if you're listening, I appreciate what you're doing. We all try to moderate that. And in the free Discord, things tend to get out of control, and sometimes it's not the most productive conversation. I'll just leave it at that. There's a lot of nice people in there, and sometimes it's a great conversation, but it does devolve sometimes. And so thank you to the moderator that is helping us in there. I appreciate that very much. My point of that was in the members only Discord, it's like night and day. If you go over there, the conversation is totally different. So thank you to all the members for having, you know, high quality conversation and input. Crypto Golfer said, we're definitely going to have resistance at 25K. Even if no pullback, you'll still have a chance to buy anything you might have missed this pump. So, I mean, that's what I feel like too. The run to 25K is going to be a big run. I think that will be from bottom to top. I think 62% run maybe. So that's not just a relief rally. We got to start acknowledging the fact that, you know, maybe we're not in a bear market anymore and we're somewhere in a transitioning phase where, you know, that doesn't mean we're straight up from here, but, you know, 62%. It's hard to argue you're still in a bear market at that point, in my opinion. And again, that doesn't mean you switch straight from a bear market straight to a bull market and all of a sudden you're off to the races. But I do think there's an awful lot of upside. So I'll reiterate for those of you who weren't here earlier, my price target for 2023 for Bitcoin, take it for what it's worth. And I'll lead by saying the last 2 years I was completely incorrect. So this year I'm giving myself a little range between 40 and 48,000 is where I think Bitcoin is going to reach. Before that doesn't mean that's what I think it's going to be on December 31st. I think we will reach somewhere between 40 and 48,000 in the year 2023, in my opinion. And I think it will be a very volatile, bumpy road along the way. But I do think I'm bullish. That's all I can tell you. And to finish up our poll, you guys are pretty bullish too. 73% of the people think that we're going to have a green day tomorrow. 27%, so almost 3/4 of the people think we're going to have a green day. 1/4 thinks we're going to have a red day. I hope that you guys are right. We hope for a green day tomorrow. It would be awesome. I mean, we're really just one good day away from hitting 25,000. So maybe that's tomorrow. Raid Master, welcome. Thank you very much. Welcome. Thank you for joining the Talkin' Investing Squad. You are our newest and latest member. There are a bunch of videos in the members only section that are already done, a bunch of deep dives that we've done that you can check out that are there waiting for you. So welcome aboard. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining, and we'll definitely. All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. There's the little bell that rings. Let's see. Michael Anthony is saying job. Book value is 89 cents. Stock ticker JOB. His average price is 53 cents and 55 cents. I think you mentioned, are they reporting today? Did they just report? Aiden is asking, how was the interview with Sue? Okay, so since Aiden mentioned it, I'm going to mention it. Aiden said, how was the interview with Sue? I watched one today, and she couldn't really answer many questions due to legal reasons because the deal hasn't gone through. I'm not sure why. I saw that. I saw the interview with Sue today. I'm not sure why they were able to release that interview, and they have not. My interview has not passed through their legal process yet. I suspect it's possible it's because I asked tougher questions. So I thought I had a good interview with Sue. I thought we had a lot of good information. I'm trying to be as patient as I can, but I definitely was frustrated to see that they posted somebody else's interview and mine is still stuck in legal. So I don't know. I don't know what to say other than I will try to wait patiently. I appreciate Sue for taking her time to come and do the interview, but obviously if I can't ever show it, it's of no use. So hopefully I will get to show that interview tomorrow. And I did think it was a great interview. So, I'm kind of psyched and bummed at the same time because it's now been 2 days later and, I still can't post the thing. But with a little luck, maybe I can post it tomorrow morning and then you guys can judge for yourself. And yeah, there's some questions that obviously she just can't answer. I mean, they're in the middle of a proposed merger, and that's the whole reason that they have to go through. Normally, I don't have to jump through any of these steps. I do, if in the past when I've done a video with Sue, I've done it, I've posted it, that's that. But for right now, obviously, they need to do the right thing and be careful and run it through their legal department to make sure they're following the rules. So I completely understand that. I just wish they would get it done so that I could post it. There. I said it. So, all right. Anybody else got any other questions or thoughts, comments, whatnot? This was an impromptu stream. This is not one of my regular streams. We have a live stream every Friday after the market closes, for those of you who don't know. So that's usually 4:15 on Friday. Check the time every once in a while. I don't get started until 4:30, but typically 4:15 on Friday, we do a live stream. I will tell you, if we break 25,000 tomorrow, I'll probably do a live stream then again. So I'm not planning on that, but if we break it, then I want to get on and talk about it for a little bit and celebrate, because we have been waiting an awfully long time to get to 25K. So we'll see if that happens tomorrow. Other than that, live stream on Friday. Members only live stream every Tuesday. And I got a bunch of videos I got to get out to you guys. Crypto Golfer said, blood-sucking lawyers. I know. Just stamp it. Let's let it go. Or tell me no, I can never show it. I mean, whatever it is. But it is what it is. The thing's done. Aiden was saying, I was hoping you had better and more detailed questions. I mean, I'm not going to criticize that person. They did their interview and they asked questions. She was not able to answer a bunch of those questions, but I do think that you guys will enjoy my talk with Sue a lot more than that one. Ed, maybe if you tell Sue about my $1 calls, she'll expedite it. No, Sue follows the rules. That's why I'm sitting here waiting, twiddling my thumbs. I know she's not happy about it either. She would certainly have preferred that was just able to be posted right away. So she may not be as frustrated as I am, but I know she's frustrated as well. But she's following the rules and she's doing what she has to do. So I always appreciate that she takes the time to come on the channel. I also got what I should have done a poll of, so I'm going to do a super quick poll. Because, here, let me just do a very quick poll. All right, so I just put a poll up. I would like to know, and please, if you can vote, vote, so that I really get a concept of this. Are you interested in an interview with Frank Holmes and Aiden? Aiden is now the CEO of Hive, so he did get a promotion. I think, that was the plan all along, and Frank obviously is the chairman, so, he's still heavily involved. So, but I just can't help but notice that when I do my monthly Hive update video, it gets the least views out of all of my monthly update videos. So I'm just wondering, has everybody lost interest in Hive? Is that what's happened? Or, because I would like to talk to him. I got my list of questions I want to ask him, but, I'm wondering what the rest of the world thinks. Barry said, yes, they did a good one on Compass Mining recently. Raidmaster said, yes. All right, so we got 2 members that are giving the thumbs up. Crypto Golfer is shorting all polls. This poll is pretty close, so if you guys can vote. Oh, I'm 10-second call. This is tech support. I've been flying solo. I'm still on a stream. You're live, caller.
Hello. I'm calling into the stream to ask if you want pollo for dinner.
Oh, yes, please.
I know what you do. I'll order it up. Keep streaming.
All right. Thanks so much. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. Pardon the interruption. That was my dinner order. Raidmaster said maybe he was going to say very interesting. Cleanspark Well says Iris, Bitfarms, and Cypher interviews. And QWERTY is saying a Stronghold interview would be good too. I would love to do a Stronghold interview. I feel like I have to. And a lot of people, you know, I get some of these comments, you know, why the clickbait? For some companies like Stronghold, if I don't do a little bit of an ambiguous thumbnail, if I tell people it's a Stronghold video, they just don't watch it. Nobody watches it, and then it's a total waste. But usually I find once they come in and watch the video, they've enjoyed the video. And I put a lot of work into these videos, so, you know, I'd rather people watch them than not watch them. I would like to talk to... That guy's I've seen him for the guy from Stronghold, and I think he would be a fascinating interview. And like I said, I really, really like what that company does, so I would definitely like to do that. I have coming up, obviously I'm waiting to release the Sue interview. I have coming up an interview with Matt at Cleanspark, so I'm looking forward to that. And then we'll see. I'll try to get, you know, I guess as these earnings come out, these guys probably want to get out and talk about their earnings, so this might be the time to grab some people and get them on the channel. Crypto Golfer said, Sue's calling, release the interview. Yeah, that was not Sue. That was not Sue. That was tech support who left me to fend for myself. This is a dinner order, not financial advice. Exactly right. I'm having Pollo Tropical for dinner, if I pronounced that correctly. If I didn't, well, that's the best I can do. I just get chicken. They got great chicken. That's what they do. They do chicken. I don't know where you guys are in the world, and if you have any of those near you. It is a franchise, and they have great chicken. This is not paid endorsement. It's just my personal opinion. All right, Brent is saying Bitfarms is moving a bit after hours now. So let's go take a look at that. Nice. So, yeah, I mean, to me, Bitfarms had a great day, up 14%. And, you know, they were up 10% yesterday. And they're up 5% after hours. And still with all that, they're at $1.16. I mean, I really, really, really think people are going to be scratching their heads on several of these stocks and saying, man, do I wish that I bought those at $1. Because an awful lot of these stocks were at or under $1. This stock got down to 38 cents. So, you know, and I have not averaged in for a little while because they've had a very nice run up, but I did average in all the way down. I did get some at 38 cents. So that's why I say I have a overly large position in them, because I continued to average all the way down. Barry said Hive failed at earnings release today, and I think you're saying that they did not do their earnings release. They instead put out a press release that due to blah 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 blah, they were not able to finish their financials on time. And I will say it's certainly not the end of the world, but it does get a little frustrating. That seems to be habitual for them. This is by far not the first time they didn't get their financials out. And then it seemed like in the middle they got it all straightened up and they got them out on time, and now here we go again. But I'm more interested in what they have to say. You know, if they're a few days late, so be it. But it's not a great look. So we got kind of a 2/3, 1/3 thing here. Anybody who hasn't voted, I'll give it another minute or two, but it looks like 67%. So Yeah, 67 to 33%. So 2/3 say yes to an interview with Frank and Aiden from Hive, and 1/3 are not interested in that interview. So, and yes is moving up a little bit. So maybe there's more interest than I thought. I mean, I would like to talk to, I will tell you, both of them came on to the channel prior to this, and I thought they were very nice. I know a lot of people have a lot of different feelings about Frank, but I can tell you, before the interview and after the interview, he took a bunch of his own time, and we had a nice long chat, and I thought that was very nice of him and thoughtful of him. And you know, we had a great conversation. So whether or not it's a good stock or not is a different story. And, you know, I do my monthly updates on them, but I will tell you, I thought that was, you know, Frank seemed like a very genuine guy to me, and he was very generous with his time. Aiden, I didn't get as much of a chance to talk to, but he is now the CEO, so he was on the stream as well. So I think I'm probably gonna see if I can get them to come on and talk to us, and then we'll see who watches it. They must not be. I think they're going to get those earnings out soon, but I'm guessing. I have no inside information on that. But I don't think I want to talk to them before their earnings report comes out. That doesn't make any sense. So we'll see if everything lines up. Maybe they can get the earnings report out, and we can get them on the channel and have a chat. Oh, the people are conflicted on this. It's not this is not a resounding yes. Old Jack said Stronghold has a tiny microcap. They could fly, a bit like DigiHost. Yeah, let's look at DigiHost, because that is, thank you, Old Jack, that is the perfect example. No, I don't want to look at it here. I want to look at it here. This is going to give us a better indication. You want to talk about taking off. So DigiHost bottomed out on December 30th at 31 cents. 31 cents. They then proceeded in the next. That's 1 month. So from December 30th to January 30th, so in 1 month, they were up 630%. So this is what I'm talking about with the Bitcoin miners. And I like to try to bring this up as often as I can, because it's important to understand with Nano, these aren't even microcap stocks. They're nano cap stocks. DigiHost was down to a $10 million market cap. So they ran up from a $10 million market cap. They ran up to, $50, $60 million market cap. Now they've pulled back a little bit since then, but even still, even after their pullback with the run up they've had, they're up 459% on the year so far. And, it's the middle of February. These are the types of things you can expect. And to Old Jock's point, Stronghold has not had that run yet. They have not had that run at all. So whereas you see this has been a massive run, they're the ones who have gotten the closest. This goes back to that. This is all the way back. Oh, no, this is to June of 2022. So, yeah, I mean, DigiHost had a huge, huge run all the way, even way past where they were in August. So they actually passed that August line, unlike most people. They did have some very bad news in 2022, and they had some much better news at the beginning of 2023. So, that wasn't just a random thing. I think their stock deserved a nice run. But if we look at, I'm going to switch over to Stronghold. So whereas this, even after the pullback, this is a 450% run up. I mean, Stronghold, it's very, very near its bottom, right? This, if I find the exact day here, 40 cents. Did it ever get lower than that? looks like 40 cents. So from 40 cents, it was up big today, but its total run up is 50%. So DigiHost is up 450% and Stronghold's up 50%. So, you know, that's to Old Jock's point. This could be the next, you know, this could be the next 2, 3, 4, 5x. And it's not the only company left on the list that's still a nano cap stock, a stock less than $50 million. Remember, more than half of this list was over, at one point, was over $1 billion market cap, each one of them, right? Marathon was a $7.5 billion market cap. That's pretty much double what all of them put together are right now, even after the big recovery they've had. So there is still massive room left to the upside for the companies that are having good operational reports, and obviously if Bitcoin continues to get healthy. Michael Anthony, Hive is the one that Frank Holmes is a director. Yes, he's the chairman at Hive, and he was the CEO. They've given Iden that promotion to CEO, and so Frank's more the big picture guy. So, you know, I'd like to get them on the channel. And it sounds like 2/3 of the people are interested in that. So I'm saying that's good enough. Team Bitcoin. Okay, Tom, you did a deep dive on Cypher and you didn't buy the stock. Come on, man. I can't. This is the hardest part about this. There are so many stocks right now that I wanted in on, but I don't. By the same token, I just don't want to take all my dry powder and buy everything. So I had to pick. There was probably 20 stocks that I wanted to buy since January 1st, 2023. And I've bought maybe 5 of them. So I've just tried to be selective and take my pick. So to me, it was between, I missed out. Cypher is one that I wanted to buy that I didn't get in on. Iris Energy was one of the ones that was on my list, but I feel like I missed it. So, I can't get them all. And it hurts. It does pain me to watch, to sit here and watch Iris Energy is up. Here's their 3 days. They're up 131% in the last 3 days. So I did I did a deep dive on them and I missed all of that. I did a deep dive on Cypher. I missed all of that. But I've caught some other ones and I am very heavy. My portfolio is what most people would consider unreasonably heavy in Bitcoin miners. So it's not like I'm missing out in the space, but it is one of those things where, on any given day, you can always be jealous of some of the other stocks that outperformed your stock. But Bitfarms is one of my stocks. I'm not going to complain about up 14%. So, Riot's one of my high conviction stocks. It was up just under 13%. Those are great moves. It's not what some of the others did, but I expect they will have see, for me, in my opinion, I don't want to chase those other guys because I think CleanSpark's going to have its turn. I think Bitfarms is going to have its turn. Bitfarms is trading around $1. Bitfarms was a 4 or 5. When Bitfarms got down to $4, I felt it was oversold, and I still feel that way right now. Now, I understand Bitcoin's in a totally different spot. Bitfarms had to make some changes to their business, no doubt. So that did hurt their stock. Some of the decrease from their $9 down to $1 was deserved, but I think they're massively oversold. So, I don't think it was all deserved, and I think there's a lot of room to the upside. So I'm going to stick with the ones that I had high conviction in, and you can't win them all, but you hope to catch some of them. Team Bitcoin said, okay, we'll forgive you this time. Hut 8 is one I hope you don't miss. So I am already in Hut 8. So that is one of my high conviction plays. So I've averaged it, and I'm upside down on that one. I've been averaging into them for a long time. So let's hope they have a nice run up. Edmund says, between the lawsuit and the, quote, deal, I sold all my Hut and put the proceeds into some more CleanSpark and a good Cypher position. So, I mean, you're not alone. I mean, a lot of people, this first press release did not impress a lot of people. I'll just say that. So, I don't think you're the only one who did that, and I don't think you're going to regret being in CleanSpark or Cypher. So, you know, that's just my opinion, but, you know, so if you're switching out one thing that you don't feel, the most important thing is, regardless of, the most important thing is to have conviction in your holdings, because otherwise you're going to buy at the wrong time and you're going to sell at the wrong time. So if those are the ones you feel good about, and, you know, it's my opinion, those are good companies. So, yeah, I mean, Ed said, thanks, Tom, for doing the deep dive on Cypher. I bought it, and it's my new #1 miner. Nice. Congratulations. See, even though I didn't catch it, hopefully my deep dive let a lot of other people. And that's another one I had to disguise. If I put out a Cypher video, it gets no views. So I can't call it a Cypher video. I just say this Bitcoin miner. So anytime you see one of those, please watch them, because there's usually, like this Cypher one, I don't do that just to put a video out. It's usually because something's going on worth talking about. So I appreciate, and I appreciate all you guys. I know I have very, very awesome subscribers and members. Just from my statistics on YouTube, I know that I get a lot of return viewers, which I appreciate. So thank you, everybody, for sticking through this tough journey, and hopefully we're entering the good part of the journey now. We'll see, right? I don't want to call it yet, but we'll see. Maybe this is the beginning of the good stuff. So I'm gonna wrap up. This was a longer than I expected, but thanks so much, everybody. Let's finalize. I'm just gonna close out the poll. So turns out 2/3 to 1/3, 67 to 33. Want to hear from Frank and Iden. That is the end of that poll. So thank you, everybody. Thanks to our new member. Hold on, let me find out. Let me go find it. Raid Master, if you're still there, thank you very much. That is our latest and greatest member. Welcome to the Talking Investing Squad. And so everybody have a great night. Thanks for joining me, and let's hope so. We all voted, 75% voted that we're going to have a green day tomorrow. So let's hope that's right. And I hope everybody has an awesome night. So thanks a lot, and we will see you tomorrow.